Peace and love. How are you? Let me get my incense lit. I pray that you've been well. You might hear my son in the background. This is Sunday, his favorite day to he does Dungeons and Dragons online with a group of friends, and so we might hear him in the background. All right, so let's see. All right, so let's just give thanks. We're going to do a 4-month out reading. So we're going to do January, February, March, and April. See what's in store with us for the upcoming year. Moving away from 2024, the chaos of 2024. Prayerfully moving into the blessings of 2025, where I am preparing to slow down my mind and my body, focusing more on the internal, which I do anyway as a spiritual worker. But in the U.S., we have some unique circumstances coming up. So I want to start focusing more on my home, focusing more on self-care, focusing more on my heart, my spiritual work, and my healing, and moving away from some of the chaos. I'll be taking a break from a lot of the things going on in the media. So let's go ahead and see what's going on. A quick note, I think I talked to you all after the election, and I brought that up. I still believe in democracy. I still believe in this country because I have no choice because I live here. When I went out there to vote, my son, when we went out there to vote, we voted for everybody, okay? I believe in loving all people. I believe in loving black, white, Asian, any race, any sexual orientation, whatever you believe in, veterans, seniors. If there was a way that I can decide exactly where my taxes go, it would be towards helping those who are in need. That's how I live my life. So want to move into this new year, continuing to care for others. That's why I do this channel. Continuing to work towards healing myself and others. I'm a teacher as well. I teach middle school social studies. So of course I believe in democracy. Of course I believe in truth. I'm teaching until, while the truth can be taught. And so I'm thankful for that. And I'll continue to do so. So let's kind of look at the upcoming year as we're moving into just a different time. A lot of us are probably going to start cutting back, thinking about our financial choices, thinking about our careers, thinking about the relationships that we're in, making sure that we're in spaces and places that help to heal and care for our hearts, moving away from damaging people, damaging environments. If the world is going to be chaotic around us, if we're around things that we can't necessarily control, what can we control within our lives? What can we change? What can we focus on within the self? And so that's what this year is about for me, and prayerfully it will be for you as well. And we'll continue to learn and grow together. I'm continuing to love everybody, and that's my thing, loving everybody, realizing that we all need support. We all need care. Okay. All right, so we're going to use 3 decks today. The Wild and Sacred Feminine deck. I might read from the book. This deck has a beautiful guidebook. So if you're ever interested in a Divine Feminine oracle, gorgeous artwork, but beautiful book as well. Sometimes I don't resonate a lot with the books that come with some of the decks, but this one is beautiful. I might read a little bit of it. I might not. We'll see. The Prism Oracle, and just for a snapshot on some of our emotional well-being throughout the next 4 months, and then the Field Tarot. If you are interested in reading tarot for yourself, if you are new to tarot, if you are interested in a deck that is clear, concise, truthful, it's this deck. And I actually got it by mistake. I placed an order with a company I will not name because they have recently they've gone downhill. It's not Amazon. But I placed this with a company. Actually, I didn't place an order for this. It was for something else. It might have been a dragon Oracle. I think you see me on this channel reading with dragon energy before. I love it. So I placed it for, it might have been Dragon's Field Guide. I didn't get this, and I got this instead, the Field Tarot. And I kept it in the packaging for the longest time because I don't really resonate a lot of times with book decks with lots of people. But I love the diversity in here. This guy, he looks like Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace, Black Panther. I love this deck. I love the keywords here: reliability for the Prince of Disc, leadership, the King of Wands. This character, he reminds me of a character from Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. So it's just a beautiful deck. It's a clear reader, no questions. I don't walk away confused. It's not giving me the runaround. It's not telling me things that I'm not trying to hear. It gives me exactly what I'm asking for. And so if you're in the market for a deck, if you're looking for something that's beginner friendly, I highly recommend this deck here by Hannah Elizabeth Fofana. She has a animal deck as well that just came out. It might be the Field Guide to Animals. I don't quite remember. This one is a simple reader too. The Prism Oracle. Let's see. And this one is nice too because we can kind of look at the chakras. It says tap into your intuition with the magic of color. Let me see. There's a focus. Does it even mention the chakras in here? It does not. But let's see. The book isn't the best. Let's see. But it's just based on colors. But of course we can add chakras to that as well. Let's see. So I'm just going to get them out. And then we'll get started. And this is kind of what they look like. Glossy. And then the Wild Sacred Feminine deck. How are you? How have things been for you and yours? How are things going with your healing? These are things that I'm asking, that I'm concerned about. I'm sending you love and positive vibrations on your healing journey. Also, to those who are new here, thank you so much. You honor me with your presence as we continue to grow together as a spiritual family. If you watch my videos all the way through, it's a blessing because this is a collective reading. So I'm pick up on the energies of the people who are giving me energy. So if you're giving me energy, you're watching my videos, you're here with me, spending time with me, growing with me, then these readings probably have something in them for you. And so we're thankful for that, as we are a small and intimate family over here. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a beautiful thing, okay? It's just for us. So if you found me over here, you found the smallest corner on YouTube, the most special place where there are only kings and queens, right? So we're thankful. All right, Spirit. Let's see. So we're going to start with January, but let me just kind of pray over the cards. Thank you, Spirit, for intuition, higher knowledge, for your guidance, purpose. Thank you, Most High, for the gift of life, for your love, for your vision. Thank you, angels, for your protection, for your understanding, for your friendship. Thank you, ancestors, for your courage, for your foresight, for your knowledge, for your independence, for your journey, for being here with me. I do this work for you. And in doing this work for you, we glorify the energies of the Most High Mother, Father, Creator. So we give thanks. All right, so let's see. Let's start with this. So angels, Spirit, as we're looking into the new year, what energies would you have for us as we start to think about 2025, moving away from 2024, leaving some things in the past and bringing some of those positive things with us, continuously working on our hearts, loving each other, loving ourselves first and foremost. What message do you have for us for January, Spirit? First month out, the new year. What message of healing do you have for us? What can we expect? What changes can we expect in January with miracles? Can we expect, let this be a year of miracles, right? 4 months out, we'll do this reading 3 times, 444. And that, the 4s, for tarot readings are stability. Okay, so bringing stability into our lives. What type of stability? Any type that we need. Financial, always. Work, stability. Stability in our home lives, right? Thinking about January, Spirit, thank you. Right. The white buffalo calf woman, integrity, okay? Knowing what's right. We'll look at the bottom as well, freedom, okay? So let's see. What emotions are we going to be dealing with? What emotions are we going to be dealing with in January as we move into the new year? New energy. Prayerfully, our ideas will be heightened. Ideas of where we see ourselves. If you're going to think positively if you can. Why not? Activate that energy. Let's see. Thank you, Spirit. Strength. So maybe when you come in contact with something that's going to pull on that strength that we need to stand within ourselves and stand up for what we believe in with this integrity piece. Speaking our truths, something that we always talk about here, with this making me think of the root chakra, just standing firmly in place, feet firmly on the ground here with the strength card, with this pillar energy, being somewhat unmovable in our ideas about what we want to accomplish in the year moving forward, not going back to any foolishness, not accepting any negativity, any drama, not bringing that forward into the new year if we can. Looking forward to happiness here. Let's get 2 cards for January. And we'll look at the bottom card for the overall energy. You might also hear my cat Ninja. She's a part of my family here. And when I start giving readings, and so we have planning. So a lot of us need to start maybe moving ourselves out of situations, okay? Moving into places where we'll be able to utilize that integrity, making sure our integrity is the forefront of whatever we're doing. Let's see. You're not going to be able to fit in there, miss. You're going to fall right into the bottom of that box. But that's fine. All right, so let's see here. So dreams, all right? And let's see here. Determination. And then on the bottom, we have temperance. So, this is an interesting energy. Let's see. This woman here, she looks like she's at peace, the white buffalo calf woman, right? She's at peace because she is who she is. She's at peace because she believes in her vision for her future. She believes in her path way forward. She knows her mind. She knows her heart. She knows her spiritual gifts and her spiritual sight. She has an understanding of it. That's how she's able to be at peace here. So you're asked to go into the new year with a true vision of who you are, a true vision of what you want to see for yourself, starting with January as we bring into the new year. Tempering that energy. So no longer are we going into the new year or going into the month with anger, with being high strung, with heavy amounts of nervousness. Those type of things, those energies are dangerous to the body, the nervous system. It keeps us on edge. It keeps us from sleeping properly and getting that rest that we need. When we can't sleep properly, when we're on edge all the time, it messes with our ability to hear those messages and to follow our intuition and to stand firmly, okay? So we want to temper the body, which means we are evenly killed. We are not necessarily one way or the other. We're right there in the middle, okay? When we're in this particular energy, we can see all sides of a situation, and we definitely want to see all sides of a situation as we move into a new political landscape. I don't want to get into it too much, but guys, this particular channel, I do talk about political things. I have very strong opinions. If you watch some of my videos, you will see that. If you do not feel comfortable with those type of things, this might not be the place for you. But as we move into a new political landscape, it's important that you are aware of what's going on. The issue with our politics here, especially in this country, and I'm sure it's abroad everywhere, is emotions get involved. Okay? When emotions get involved, you're not thinking properly. You're not thinking about right or wrong. You're just thinking about that thing that drives you, and that drive, when it's detrimental, is normally hatred and anger. To be driven by hatred and anger is a death sentence on your spiritual life. There are people here who have no concern about their spiritual life. There's nothing we can say about those people. But they act accordingly to their anger and their hatred. All right, so as we move into the new year, especially January, you have to be aware. You only can be aware with this energy of peacefulness and integrity, knowing who you are, knowing how you stand, being strong in how you stand, not easily moved, not wavering here and there, but also putting yourself in a position where you're balanced. You can see this side and you can see that side. And once you see both sides, you can discern and gather information in that way. Okay? We live in a world where people only see one side of things. The true strength and the true power comes from seeing multiple different angles. Even if you believe one way, seeing multiple different angles, that's the way forward. Okay? Also, being determined. Being determined in your speech, how you speak to others, how you speak to yourself, has the sword up here, cutting away any type of negativity, cutting away drama, cutting away those that are in the business of hurting or harming you, cutting them away with love. But then also here, allowing sweet things to enter into your life with this cup, speaking beautiful things out of your mouth. All right? Speaking beauty into others, speaking beauty into your environment, speaking beauty into your circumstance with this cup she's holding up. The Princess of Cups deals with messages. It's messages that come to us of love, but it's also speaking messages of love as well. You can speak messages of love to yourself. Thank you, Spirit, for all that you've given me. I speak love into myself as I head into the new year. I wish nothing but love for my life and movement forward. Speaking love is not enough. You have to act with love as well. And that's why we have this strength card. And that's why we have this integrity energy. Okay? Let's see what else we have. We'll pull two. Isolation. So maybe January for all of us. And I know for me going forward, I'm going to cut back. And I think I told you all that. I'm going to cut back financially as well. I live in an apartment where when I started, it was maybe $1,000, maybe $1,200 total when it came to some of the other things I was paying in the complex. But now I pay $1,600. Okay, so I've already told my son we're going to downsize. We're going to move into a smaller place, and we're going to make that work. I'm not yet, but that'll be the path forward. My son also could live with his father, but he spent most of his time living with me. He prefers to be here. And so I always want to make sure I have a space for him in his mind and his well-being. And so anywhere I go, that's the top of the line for me. It has to be a space where he can lay his head and feel safe. And feel safe. Not that he doesn't feel safe with his father, but I want to make sure that I offer him safety as well. So isolation energy, being alone. Nothing wrong with it for a moment. Not saying that you're not alone. Not saying that you don't have that you are alone. You have loved ones. You have people that care about you. You have your ancestors. You have your spiritual team. But taking some time to step away from the chaos of the world, stepping away from all the energy that's happening, the outside energy, and going within, and maybe spending January in a state of with this temperance energy, in a state of peace, in a state of healing, in a state of trying to find that balance that's right for you as you head into the new year. So, cultivating that inward peace with the isolation. Isolation doesn't have to be a hard or a awful thing. For those who do feel isolated, it's time to reach out to your spiritual team. Okay, it's time to reach out to those energies and say, Spirit, I'm feeling isolated. I don't feel as though I have the people around me that care for me. Remember, friends, you have to care for yourself first. First things first, Spirit, teach me how to care for myself properly. But even after that, you can ask your ancestors, put me in places and positions where I meet those that are of like mind and of like energy. Okay? Looking for that soul tribe, that soul family. But this idea of isolation for January is needed. It's a spiritual type of isolation where you go within, you figure out how you want to move forward with your year. You give thanks for what happened last year. You bring in some of those lessons, okay? You leave the things in the past that were negative and you bring the positive things forward as you move forward, as you move into the new year, right? So we're gonna need to spend some time alone in January, and there's nothing wrong with that. All right, so let's see. Let's see for February where the energies lead us. All right, Spirit, as we're looking into the second month of the year, February, what energies will we be dealing with? What messages do you have for us? Healing and growth, bringing in abundance in our lives, material and spiritual. I'm going to get a sip of my tea in a moment. Let's see here. So we have shapeshifter, fluidity. All right, that's a beautiful energy. Intimacy. For some of us, we are moving into new relationships. For some of us, we are moving out of old relationships. For some of us, we're learning to be more intimate with ourselves, okay? Let's see here. With emotions. In order to be a shapeshifter, you have to temper your emotions. You can't be a shapeshifter if you fall on either one side, anger and rage, or, being naive or ignorant, So it's that balance with the shapeshifter energy. You have to be fluid. You have to be able to move through things. And we realize in January, we need to stand our ground. We need to stand with our feet firmly on the ground, knowing who we are. Maybe we're going to get challenged in that month. I know we could be challenged by systems around us, okay? So February is calling for us to loosen up a bit. It's asking for us to flow. So let's see here. And that's a good sign. That's a good sign. So let's see. Sweetness. Oh, I love it. And that falls in line beautifully with this intimacy card. Loving yourself more and more and more. Loving yourself so that you can love others with the fullness of your heart. Right? Giving to yourself first before you give to others. Standing your ground in January. Relaxing enough to feel safe as we move into February. Realizing that the world is going to be what the world is going to be, but we can still operate with peace and love within those structures, right? And so February is a time for sweetness. February is a time for self-love, for intimacy. Let's get one more. Sweetness, Spirit, what else are we going to deal with in February? What other emotions might come up for us? I love sweetness, friends. Oh, ideation. So coming up with new ideas, right? Bringing new creative things into play. All right, so let's see. Also, too, we'll put this one over here. What is our idea of intimacy? How do we think of intimacy? How do we want to bring it into our lives? Visualizing it in the heart space, visualizing it in the mind's eye, and allowing that vision to surface and come into reality. Let's see. Let's get 2 cards. Also, let's see what cards we get, because I don't want to jump the gun on that one. So vision. Okay. Energy. Beautiful energy coming in with the Ace of Wands. And then on the bottom we have fortune. So wonderful. February. Beautiful things happening. magic happening in February, miracles happening in February, things that we've prayed on, things that we've visualized for ourselves. The love that we've put out into the world is returning to us, the reciprocity, the reciprocal energy that we've always wanted. On another note, because we did have integrity and that we did have standing our grounds for January, make sure that we're not dealing with shapeshifters with sweet tongues, okay? This is important to think about because I see that here as well. In intimate relationships, those who would use their closeness with you to manipulate and to try to get over on you. Be careful of that because that's also here as well. Shapeshifter is a powerful spiritual energy. It can be used for good. It can be used for bad. If we're operating out of the heart space, it's going to be used for good. Okay. Creativity in February, bursting forth with ideas, with the ideation and the energy card. Okay. So, creative projects, new jobs, new opportunities. If the new job hasn't presented itself, this is the time to start looking for that new place of work, that new business that you want to start. February, as we've used January as a time to go within with an isolation card, February we can start to come out of our shells, start to, as the hermit, we can start to come out of the cave. We've learned some of those lessons, and we can start to feel safe in implementing those or integrating those into our lives. And so those ideas that you've put on the back burner, those ones that you know, that you've been thinking about for years and years, this is the time to do it because a lot of things are shifting. Things could be shifting in a negative way for some if we look at the larger landscape. But just because things are shifting in a way that we don't necessarily understand doesn't mean they can't shift for a positive degree in our lives. All right? Why can't we ride the wave? Why can't we ride the positivity wave? And I'm not talking about this idea of just nothing's going on because we know things are going on. We're told to be strong throughout those things. But don't get drowned. We're not going to drown within it. We're going to ride the wave out. So why not be on the top of the wave? We don't want to be on the bottom of it, on the bottom of the sea, floundering or drowning. So this is a time for those creative gifts to shine. This is a time to bring those ideas into fruition, whatever they might be for you. It doesn't have to be a creative project. Like I said, it could be going back to school. There are going to be a lot of changes here quickly when it comes to the U.S. They're trying to dismantle the Department of Education. For a lot of us, if you are on the lower income bracket, then you might receive the Pell Grant. You might receive federal loans. And so before those things disappear, my friends, it's time to enroll into a program if you can. So for some of us, that's where you need to go. Taking advantage of anything that's going on with your job when it comes to education, to add to your resume, to add to your body of work, this is the time to do it. So we're thinking of ourselves with this intimacy card. Being intimate with ourselves first, loving on ourselves first, making sure that we're preparing ourselves for the future, bringing that sweetness into our lives with just basically how do we see ourselves? How can we nurture our bodies? And then also for some of us, moving into a beautiful relationship here with this intimacy card, being brave enough to do that. But we have that integrity card beforehand. So we're making sure that whoever we go into union with, this could be a romantic union, this could be friendships, it could be business. But intimacy, something that it's a soul connection, feeling close, right? Intimacy is just the idea of being in a connection where you feel yourself, where you can be yourself, where you can be raw, where you can be bare, where you can be naked. It's that type of energy. It's the highest level of a friendship. It's the highest level of a romantic pairing. It's what you look for in a spiritual helpmate, a romantic mate. That person that you can take off the physical clothing, but take off all the other baggage and you can allow yourself to be vulnerable, right? Because the true spiritual gifts arise with that idea of that vulnerability of being vulnerable. That's where the heart space can open. If we're clenched up and tight, we don't allow those messages or that feeling to flow through us like it should. Get a little sip. Guys, you know I talk over here. I've been known to talk a lot, and I talk a lot because I love. I taught third grade last year, and I would sit my students down and I would have deep heart-to-heart talks with the whole class, 30 minutes or more about life, about spirit, and they would sit there quietly, and some would listen and understand, and for some of them, it was just speaking to the heart and speaking to the spirit. Maybe they didn't understand it then, but they knew this woman loved them. One of my students recently, she said, Miss Peterson, please, not another lecture. I said, I'm sorry. I said, I love you too much. I love you too much. Because there's a lot going on. And I don't know what's happening in the home life of some of these students and some of these young ones, but I have to love them the way I know how. Loving them and speaking to their spirit. That's why I talk a lot on this channel. The attention spans are too quick. They're too quick. They're too quick for kids and they're too quick for adults. Spiritual downloads might be years. They might be months. They don't come in an instant all the time. We're in a world where we want instant gratification. It's not true. It's not always real. The rewards come after long effort. Not always. But we should be prepared for that. If we're not prepared for the long haul, if we haven't packed for the long haul, if our minds aren't ready for the long haul, then we've already given up. So that's why I talk a lot here. And then also spirit talks with me. I work with my ancestors. I'm an ancestral worker. I'm a medium. So I'm speaking to you because I'm speaking from my heart space because I love and I love you. But I'm also speaking on behalf of my mother, my grandmother, my grandfather, my great-grandmother, my great-grandfather, and so on. It is my job to do this for them. They work in the spiritual realm, and I work on the physical realm. I'm tearing up. I'm not going to go there. But I'm here to continue the work of my bloodline. And my gift is my speech and my connection to them and to the Most High energy. That's why I talk a lot here. All right, so I just wanted to get that out the way because I feel like a lot of people might not stick around for my videos because I do talk, but that's the spiritual gift that I have. All right, so the fortune card, expect beautiful things in February, okay? The Magician was right underneath it, and success, whoa. So whatever you wanted to create here with this vision, with the energy of the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Wands can also be a powerful love connection here. A powerful, intimate connection with the Ace, which is strong sexual energy, and then this intimacy card, and then this sweetness. So a relationship that not only brings in a powerful sexual connection, but also brings in a softness with the sweetness card, a innocence as well. That's a beautiful thing. So some of you all can expect that in February. That's wonderful. But also, if you in February bring something to the forefront that's been sitting in the back here, there will be movement with it, with the fortune card. The Magician here says that you have everything you need and the success is there for you in February. So please don't be afraid. Speak your voice here with the Emperor card. That's what I get with this energy always. Speak your voice. Be honest. Speak your truth. All right. Like I tell my students, and because this is underneath it, if you don't speak your truth, if you're not honest, and you're not speaking from your higher self, somebody else is going to do the speaking for you. And that's when things get dangerous. All right, so let's see. That was February. Let's think about March. Let me get situated. Get the cards back in order. And we'll see. All right, Spirit, as we think about March, what will we have to work on? Let's see. And with the spiritual energies is always divine timing, but I pray for these things to happen within the month, that we see the energy at least, or we see the beginnings of the energy. All right, let's see what we have for March. Courage. Wow. So March might test us a bit. Let's see. So compassion with Kuan Yin. First of all, as always, having compassion for yourself, forgiving yourself for any wrongdoings, which were just lessons. You don't have to call them wrongdoings. For any lessons we had to learn, hard ones. All right, let's see. All right, let's see here. What emotions for March will we be contending or dealing with? Movement. All right. So some of us can be relocating. Some of us could be changing up jobs. Anything. Moving house. Something that will require us to have courage here. It's going to bring us happiness. We've seen that happiness card a couple times. All right, so let's see. Movement. Tell me a little bit about the movement. Ghost. All right, so moving to a new space. This makes me think about that isolation card a little bit too. Maybe always realize that you're not alone. Okay, you're not alone. That's why we want to foster that intimacy with ourselves so that when we feel in those positions or when we feel in situations where of isolation, that we understand that we have ourselves. If nothing else, we have our spirit team. So, ghost. So, movement from things that happened in the past. Something might come up in March. Something from the past might resurface with this ghost energy. Hauntings from the past. The ghost can also be movement, powerful movement, if you follow the messages given to you from your spiritual team and your ancestors. If you follow the energy from January and February, then in March, you'll be prepared for the ultimate style of spiritual movement forward, which for me is ascension, which means you've learned some spiritual lessons, you've integrated them into your life, and you're moving on to you're becoming lighter and lighter. All right. And so, lighter spiritually, you're removing some of that baggage. Anytime you're shedding some of that baggage and you're moving into more of a spiritual body, more of a spiritual self, you become lighter. All right, so let's see. Making sure that if we confront others, if somebody's confronting us or challenging us, that we are utilizing our integrity. Utilizing our integrity. That we're standing strong, like that pillar with that strength card that was up there earlier. Let's see. So we have perspective, which is the hangman in this deck. And dreams. All right, so here's the thing. And then on the bottom, we have the transition. So we have that beautiful energy from February. I just went on a quick rant about that patience that's required, that attention span, okay, that longevity, that piece. Things might not happen exactly, bam, just like that. It might take time with the hangman energy. But the hangman is a powerful card because that perspective piece is right. Sometimes we have to see things differently, and the power is in seeing things differently. The hangman is not there because they don't necessarily know. The hangman is there because they do know, but they have to wait in order to integrate, in order to bring it into a reality. All right. It's that temperance energy that we saw earlier. When we're working on something powerful, when we're working on something positive, it has to take time and it has to be done from an even body. Okay? Oh, the sun is in there. So we're moving forward. here with this transition card. And then we have the movement. So really, in reality, some of us could be changing, relocating, or preparing to relocate with this transition card. You all heard me earlier. That's my whole thing, getting my finances in order to relocate eventually. So if we're not actually doing the relocation in March, we are preparing ourselves, whatever that way may be, for the relocation process. So that's whether you're getting your finances in order, whether you're closing down things, whether you're looking for jobs in February, and then March, maybe you'll hear some movement about that because we saw the fortune card. So the movement, there will be some movement and some activity in March that will require us to be courageous. Whatever it is here, we've dreamed for it. We've wanted. We have envisioned it. We've brought it into our lives, okay? Because we've put the energy out there with this Princess of Cups energy. Beautiful messages coming in. We've gotten this couple. This is the second time we've had this card. So beautiful messages coming in for us in the beginning of the year. And then, friends, don't discount the beautiful spiritual messages that come from our guides. All right. Sometimes things aren't necessarily something coming in the mail. It's insights. Okay. It's feelings that we get. Don't discount those messages of love. The Hangman says that wherever we're going, whatever we're doing, it might require courage because it's going to be something, it might be something different. Maybe it's not what we thought here with this perspective card. The Hangman is a strange looking character. So maybe it's something that's a little bit wilder, or maybe it's something a little bit more off the wall. Who knows? But it requires courage for us to move into it. It requires communications with our spiritual team. We also are removing and getting away from any negativity and any ideas that want to take us back into the past with this ghost card. Moving forward. All right. A decision will have to be made. Okay. Underneath it, we have a Chariot. If the Chariot for me is moving the highest spiritual purpose, it's moving with the energy of the Most High. It's moving. It's destiny. It's that idea for me, utilizing the higher self. If you choose not to leave things in the past, if you bring those ghosts with you into the new year, there will be disappointment here with the Five of Cups. And you'll continue fighting these battles. Okay, so let's not do it. All right, let's get the last month for this reading. So let's do April. All right, Spirit, let's see. Let me get my cards back in order. All right, so what message do you have for us, April? What message do you have for us? Thank you, Spirit. I'm looking forward to 2025. Let's see. I'm just thankful to be on this planet still. And I'm still able to love. You know? That's the highest gift for me. Let's see. So crone, wisdom. Okay. And then wholeness. Moving into a state of wholeness. Or for me, the idea of the crone is being honest, but being more so than that, being comfortable in our bodies, in our skin, in our purpose, in our words. The crone, that energy, she knows who she is. Consciousness. All right, so let's go ahead and give me another. I mean, I guess I could have pulled that one out. We'll talk about it. All right, so what emotions? April, head into the spring. And we start to see beauty all around us with the flowers coming out. Let's see. Space. Let's give it another one. Oh, the ghost here again. So this is interesting to me too. I'm going to pull two more, but I want to talk about this with this crone and this wisdom card. This woman here is a spiritual teacher. She's a spiritual advisor. If she's not a teacher or advisor, she's a worker. If you are a spiritual worker, your energy is the advice, right? You don't necessarily have to say anything, but if you are positive and if you are true in your spirituality, then you automatically have that vibration. So you don't have to go around talking to people about things. You don't have to give readings. You don't have to do any of those things. It's just a presence alone. People discount the powerfulness of a presence. This woman has a powerful spiritual presence here because she's given herself space to be who she is. She's comfortable in this space, in this dark energy here. This is like shadow work. She's gone and conquered any of that. And shadow work is constant, okay? It's constant. But she's conquered some of those deeper, darker elements and she's brought them up to the surface. We all are light and shadow. Nobody is all light. Nobody is all shadow. Some people can be 75% shadow, you know? I mean, let's be honest. We've come across some people with those demon type of tendencies. I mean, really. But this crone she can work in these darker spaces. She's not afraid of the dark. She's not afraid of talking with her spiritual team. She's not afraid of confronting the energies at night. She's not afraid of going within the night of the self, all right? And bringing those things to the forefront. She's not afraid of the ghost from the past. She's not afraid of confronting them. Also, she's not afraid of speaking to spirit with this space and this ghost. Caution here was on the bottom. If you don't trust your wisdom, if you don't put yourself in your healing first, there's sadness in that. If you don't move into the space of understanding who you are, if you don't confront these things from the past, it's the same message as we just had. There's caution and sadness there for you as you move forward. You have to heal it, or you have to work towards the healing. You have to confront it. The crone is not afraid to confront it. Give me two more cards, though, because we already had those. But obviously, those are energies that we'll still be working with as we move further into the year. I'm going to get another sip of my tea. Illumination. And then growth. Comfort. Comfort in your home life. But truthfully and honestly, comfort with yourself. The crone is comfortable with who she is. She doesn't want to be anybody else. She doesn't want anything else that anybody else has. She's not jealous. She's happy with what she's been blessed with. And mainly, this particular crone is just happy with her mind because it says wisdom here. So if you don't have anything else, you have your right mind. You have your right mind if you're able to go into those spaces and do the work. But she has a right mind here. She has the comfort of this blanket, and she has a right mind. And that's all she needs here. Right here in her hands, it looks like a little vortex, but it also looks like water here. So access to the higher realms, but access to the intuitive body or the emotional body here. It's a toughness on the outside. If we think about that strength that we're learning as we move into the new year in January, but there's a softness here and a sweetness. That's how she's able to sit on this earth, all right, with strength and integrity, planted firmly, but she's also able to access the watery energy as well. Illumination brings growth in April. Growth of the flowers, growth of the self. The sun is here with the illumination. Obviously, spring, so the sun comes out and the flowers grow. But Spirit is saying that you are a flower as well. And now it's time for you to blossom. Maybe coming out of the dark energy of the space. I'm about to go tell my son to chill. Coming out the energy of that darker space and coming out into the sun with this illumination. Let's see. Let's get 2 cards. The universe, and then celebration. Wow. Fulfillment on the bottom. So let's not forget the importance of spiritual fulfillment. Yes, we want all other types of fulfillment, but the first type of fulfillment, the most important type, the type that can get us the furthest, all right, on this planet, is the spiritual fulfillment. So we want to give thanks for that. Loving ourselves. The crone loves herself, all the flaws and all. The emperor, she speaks her truth. Universe, closing out chapters with that ghost energy. Okay, closing out chapters, bringing new things, new visions, new ideas with this illumination, new ways of growing. New things are growing with the growth card, right? Taking care of our home life with the celebration with the 4 of Wands, but also taking care of the body, of the self with the 4 of Wands, feeling protected in our environments in April, making sure that we feel protected. The crone feels protected in her environment, even with the space card, even with the growth, with the ghost card. She's not afraid of confronting any of those heavier energies. She still sits in this 4 of Wands energy, and she's celebrating all that she's gone through. She's celebrating the triumphs and the challenges, right? Because she's illuminated. She's not only illuminated because she's able to see with her vision, but she's illuminated because she's vibrating at a very specific frequency, that energy of power and that strength. So she's illuminating the things around her as well. Okay? So that's where we want to be as we move into April. We want to embody the energy of this crone. Self-love will get us there. Truthfulness will get us there. Let's see. Friendship will get us there. The 3 of Cups to me is always, sometimes it's friendship for me, but sometimes it's ancestral celebration. That's what I always get with this card. Okay. Don't forget these energies lurk. Okay. The devil lurks, always lurking. The lower level energies always lurking. They want to pull us down. Okay. Ma'am, no. No. They want to pull us down. But if we're in this emperor space, this crone is in this emperor space. She's speaking her truth. She's not afraid to say what needs to be said. She's not afraid to let people know where her head is at. All right? When you speak your truth, these energies, you know what I'm saying? They scurry away. Because this is a weakness. This is a weakness. This is a weakness. People think this is strength. This is no strength. This is weakness. This is the coward. This is cowardice. This is strength. This is strength. Illumination is strength. The devil is this. It's turning your eyes on illumination. It's not seeing. It's people who prefer to see the truth. To not see the truth, I mean. They don't want to see the truth. They want to act like things don't exist, or they want to act like something is this when it really is that. They're happy in that because they find comfort in it, but it's a lie. It's being a coward. We live around a lot of cowards. We're dealing with a lot of cowards. It's the devil energy. It's the weakest energy in the deck, in my opinion. All right. But it holds a lot of power and a lot of weight, and it can keep you trapped. So it's a weakness and a power at the same time. Be careful of it. It has its ways. All right, I think we'll end it there. Let's do one more just to end, and I'm just going to close it. Give us one more, Spirit. Thank you all for being here with me. If you've liked, it helps me. I know sometimes we don't want to hit the like button, but if you enjoyed the video If you've taken something away from it, please hit the like button because it helps me grow. I do love the intimacy over here, but I would like to reach more people. Just a few more. We'll see what Spirit has in store for us. They are determined. I am meant to be on here no matter whether one person or two people watching. So it brings me joy to get on here and do this. All right, so let's see. Gentleness. So I'll leave it there. And you, beauty as well. We'll look at both of these. So you take that, and nothing is more important, nothing is more powerful than your intuition and what you think and what you feel. And we'll end it with these two messages. Sending you love, and I'll be back with another video. All right, peace.